This is a message for Rock Hard Caucus listeners. I've got somebody here to talk about recent events and near future events and context surrounding said events. I'm talking today with Noah Petersen, who people may be aware that he was arrested earlier this month at a Newton City Council meeting. And I wanted to hear from Noah about what happened and why. So Noah, thank you for joining me today.
Of course, and thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So what happened? Why did they arrest you at the Newton City Council meeting?
I think basically they didn't like what I had to say. I think that's pretty clear. So I spoke a little too critically of them. I wasn't a landlord either. Like landlords were there, I don't know, 40 minutes, and the straight landlords complaining about inspections. One of them went over, and nothing happened to those folks. But obviously, what do you expect? Why would, of course, since they're not gonna get mad at landlord, they're gonna like actually talk to the landlords and shit. But since they're so critically of the police as a whole, they did not like that at all, and they just like had me kidnapped because they didn't like to hear it.
Yeah, what exactly did you say about the Newton Police Department? It seems like criticism of police, I mean, is pretty common. Maybe not popular, but you know, there's usually people talking bad about cops all over.
Yeah, but I don't know how often that happens here in this town.
Hmm.
I don't think it's very common for them to hear anti-police stuff. Honestly, I don't think it very often. I mean, before I even like had the pro domestic violence part, they called it derogatory. When I was just like calling them violent and rights violating in general, they're like, that's too derogatory. You can't read that. And you talk about like reallocating funds, and they were like, no.
Yeah, the domestic violence thing, what exactly is the story there?
Oh yes. So like what made me aware of it was the so like about what was it? At the very end of August or something like that, a 19-year-old was pulled over because his headlight was on or something, because like he had a bad headlight, so he just turned his brights on to compensate for that and didn't realize that he couldn't do that, and he got pulled over for that. And then the cop, like he like offered to get like blow the breathalyzer thing like straight away, but the cop wouldn't let him do that. You know, that's like all he really has to do. But like made him go through tests. They claim he failed two of them when like the only really failed was the so like stepping one. Like he like stepped too many steps, but he thought he was like going to be told to stop. He just didn't really understand what was going on
Hmm.
and shit. And then he like was being compliant. Like he was just I don't know. He like was a little upset because like he didn't do anything at all, and he never like experienced cops before. Like he even called himself like a black back the blue type. I don't think he's that anymore. He's like I think experience like now it's like I don't think it's really that. I think it's probably I don't know. I haven't talked to him a whole lot, but I've talked to him some. But I don't think he's that so much anymore, which is nice to see. I guess. No, obviously not. Like the whole experience is not good.
No, but you know, usually it's good to learn from experiences.
Yeah, yeah. So like that's what I've done. I've had honestly quite a few experiences, and most of them not. Actually, I don't think any of them really great.
Hmm. But they have an officer on the force that has like a protective order against him, and that's sort of what you
Yeah,
were alluding to, right?
yeah. He has like an active one, but she filed it in like October of last year. Yeah, I think it was like October 1st or something. And she filed for extension in I think in June, low 20s or something.
Hmm.
This not June, September.
Yeah. So the Newton Police Department has an officer on active duty who has this protective order against him by some kind of partner. I guess I don't know their relationship.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't.
but that protective order would indicate that there was some kind of domestic dispute, violence, abuse between them.
Yeah, it's sealed mostly, so you can't really know what's going on. It's like I went to the courthouse and asked about it, and then well, you give them the case number, and then they search up. So yeah, that's secure double two, so they can't get that.
Hmm. And so you said at this meeting, I think the words you used were you called the police department pro domestic violence. Is that right? Okay.
I believe so.
Which I suppose you could consider that like inflammatory language, but
Yeah.
you didn't name the guy, right?
Nope. I'm not.
I would think that, you know, arresting somebody for saying that is you know, possibly a violation of your constitutional rights.
I would say so.
So the language that you've used that I've seen you post about this, you say that they kidnapped you. So what actually happened to you after they picked you up at this meeting?
Well, it took me to jail, made me strip and do all to new clothes, and then watch me. It was very uncomfortable. And then made me to answer a whole bunch of questions. Then put me in a room, locked up. Pretty much. It was obviously it wasn't the worst. It was like wasn't that long as I knew I wasn't gonna be there long because I knew I had the bond coming. So honestly, I wasn't that worried because it's also just a simple misdemeanor, but it's still pretty messed up that they did that just because I criticized the cops too much for them.
It seems pretty over the top to put somebody in jail for just speaking for a couple minutes at a public meeting.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And this is I mean, you are kind of a seasoned veteran of speaking at public meetings. I've seen you at a lot of Iowa City and Johnson County meetings. And this is the first time anything like this has happened to you, right?
Yeah, I've only like seen cops just like the chief when he's been there to speak his bullshit, or at Johnson County when they called it on the excluded workers.
Right, yeah. And you are a Newton resident now, is that right?
Yeah, temporarily.
Okay.
I plan to move back eventually. It's just cheaper here right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, if you're a Newton resident, I would think that you have the right to come to a city council meeting and talk about the Newton City Police Department. You know, it's a part of your life. I think you should have the right to speak up about it. Well, they have another meeting coming up soon. Do you plan to be there?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you say that's the 24th?
Yeah, it's the 24th.
Okay. Are you planning to speak to them again?
Definitely. I'm going to speak to them again.
Okay. So Newton is, I'm sure that there are people who listen to our podcast who live closer to Newton than I do. And it would be nice if some people could be there to support you as well. But I was wondering if Newton is maybe too far of a drive for some people. Is there a way to participate remotely in these meetings?
Like a Zoom meeting form like that?
Anything like that, yeah.
No, unfortunately I used to, but not anymore for some reason.
Okay, so
I'll
like
plan on speaking about like that next time. I just get the cop stuff in first.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you got to be there and that's it. No other way to. Although you could possibly contact city council members, the mayor. Do you have contact info for them?
Yeah, I can send that to you if you want. And just like website and stuff. Okay.
So the meeting on the 24th is it Newton City Hall?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the City Hall. Yeah, the cop station next by and their fire station.
Okay. And what time does that start?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay. Well, I'm going to do what I can to try to be there in person. Starts at 6 p.m. I'm going to try to be there. Any listeners who live in the area who can be there, it would be nice. You know, I mean, worst comes to worst, Noah gets arrested again, and at least people will be there to I guess witness and sort of wait until you are released, and some community support would be nice. But if you're not able to attend, maybe you could send some supportive words along to the city officials at least. Well, thanks for talking to me a little bit about what you experienced, and hopefully this can be sort of a turning point, I guess, in like public meeting reactions to public comments. I would hope that something like this is kind of a warning. Like, you really don't need to arrest people for speaking at a public meeting, and I would hope that, bad press results if this goes any further, at the very least. I mean, I don't know if you have any insight into, like, if there could be legal consequences to them for something like this.
Oh, like suing them?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's the plan on doing that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've been talking to folks about that. I think it's very likely.
Great. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it seems like a pretty straightforward violation of the First Amendment. You may have heard of it.
Yeah, like I was purposely doing the whole civil bullshit. It sounded like wasn't like I've said much worse stuff in Johnson County
Yeah.
than I've ever said in Jasper, and these people are freaking the fuck out. At least I'll just give it to the Johnson County folks. At least they will not arrest people. They can't arrest people now that they won't arrest the Nazis. So
Yeah. At least they've drawn that line. Yeah.
yeah, if they like start arresting me, not the Nazis now, I'm gonna, I don't know. When I go back, like move back there, aren't there like supposed to be like the people over at the library yesterday showing up?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I saw those guys outside the public library yesterday afternoon, and they were like supporters of Jacob Onken, who's running for State House. One of the guys was telling us that he's friends with 7 members of the Iowa legislature, and he's going to do all he can to like pass laws banning drag performances. So, yeah.
Nice. All of it.
Yeah, so I'd expect to see more from those guys too. Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of funny how they so they don't respond to my emails at all for some reason, which is typical. But oh yeah, but I like how the whole schedule changed. I guess like they didn't have any explanation at all. They were just like, we're just canceling this, and then they, after I emailed them like half an hour later, they changed the wording on like due to scheduling difficulties, we're canceling it and rescheduling it.
Yeah, they were supposed to have a meeting like tomorrow or sometime this week, right?
I guess, yeah, that would be tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it was the 17th, and then they just pushed it back a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to wonder. I mean, the last meeting had someone arrested, which is pretty unprecedented, and then they have to, delay a week.
Yeah, I guess it was weird, really.
All right. Well, everyone listening to this, we will have relevant information in the text episode description. So if you feel inclined to help out, show some support for Noah, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.